Agnostic or atheist? So atheist is somebody who denies the existence of God. Agnostic is someone like, I believe there's some sort of a power there. Where would you say, which spectrum of this?
I'd say agnostic. I don't think it's possible to prove that something is or isn't correct. I don't think we have the knowledge to be able to say either way.
Okay, interesting. So obviously you seem like sincere, you seem like you're open, you seem like you want to learn. Same as myself, I would like to learn as well. I would love to learn from you. So let's put it like this. Why is there something rather than nothing? Which is a thought-provoking thing. Like, why is there something rather than nothing? So when I ask you this question, what goes through your mind? When I say, why is there something rather than nothing?
I believe that it's something that we might never be able to figure out the answer to. And maybe that's okay.
Okay, so with me, the fact that there is something rather than nothing shows me that a being, some sort of a being who has a will must have given rise to this. Because we don't have nothing. Nothingness is the absence of something. So when I say nothing, I'm talking about absolute nothingness, not a single thing. So therefore, because there is something, the question that we need to ask is, why is there something? And if there is something, a being must have given rise to it. Now my argument is the following. I have two arguments. One of them is a little bit more complex, but I'm going to go with the simple one. So it's an argument from Kalam cosmological argument, yeah? So what we say is, by the way, so is the sun in your eye?
No, it's okay.
You okay? Yeah? If you want, you can stand there. I want you to be comfortable.
Okay,
Should we swap places?
This is okay.
Okay, all right. Wherever you're comfortable. Yeah. Do you want coffee or tea, by the way?
No, I'm alright.
Okay, no. If you need anything, let me know, please. Yeah. So the question is this: we know that the universe began to exist. So at one point, it started. So the question I ask is very simple: where did it come from? Did it come from nothing? Did it create itself? Was it always there, or was it created? So we have four possibilities. If there's anything that you would like to add on, please let me know. Yeah? And I would like to go through them one by one to come to a conclusion of what that could be. Now, the first one, can it come from nothing? Can the universe come from nothing, do you think?
Seems impossible.
Okay, good. That shows your sincerity. Because 0 cannot equal 1. So, therefore, we say bye-bye to that. So, it cannot come from nothing. That's why we said, why is there something rather than nothingness? Now, the second one is, did it create itself? Now that's a bit like it's an oxymoron. It's like my mother giving birth to herself. She has to exist and not exist at the same time, which is an impossibility. Would you agree to that?
I think that something else could have existed, which then became this.
Okay.
If there was never nothing, there was always something. So
okay, good.
Something in a different form.
Good. So okay, you're going with it. Okay, so we say no to this, but what you're saying is there must have been something, which we're going to come to. So we've got two possibilities now. The universe was always there, or it was created. So what we say is that infinite doesn't exist in the real world. So we have potential infinite, but the actual infinite doesn't exist. Argument. If I had an infinite amount of universes, and I took away 2 universes, how many universes do I have?
Infinite, still, right?
Some would say infinite minus 2, then it's a contradiction because infinite cannot have minuses. You can't take or add to it. So what we see is infinite doesn't exist in the real world. Now it goes to the question which you said, something must have always been there. Now, that is what we say, that the universe must have been created. And that creator that created it must have always existed. It has to be necessary. If that creator wasn't there, then we would never have the universe. Something must have always been there to give rise to the universe. We say that is God Almighty. Now you might say, okay, that's a big jump. But the reason we say that is because we go for the plausible explanations that it cannot come from nothing. It cannot create itself. Infinite, it could have not always been there, because why? The universe is contingent, meaning it depends on something else outside itself for its existence. So then, what is that thing that it requires on? We say God Almighty, who has always been there. So now, this is our argument to why God exists. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So now you're a theist. Well, kind of, we're there. So just to clarify, I'm not here to win points. I don't want you to feel like I'm just trying to bring my position forward. Now, if God Almighty exists, now we need to give him some attributes. Why? Because it necessitates by his nature that he has to have his attributes. Number one, is there knowledge in our universe?
Yeah.
Okay, if there is knowledge in our universe, there has to be a knowledge giver. Okay, good. If the universe exists means there has to be, this creator has to have a will. Because how can the universe come to be without his will? So he has to have a will, he has to have knowledge. Okay, he has to be all-knowing, right? So now what we're doing is we are now giving these attributes to God, yeah? And there's many, we believe in many attributes of God and many names, yeah? This is where I want to take you from deism to theism. Because a theist could be somebody that accepts, okay, there's a powerful being, I don't know nothing about it, that's it, it's not personal. Now I'm trying to make you a bit more personal, Tom. God Almighty wants a relationship with you. You see this cup? This cup has a purpose. Somebody made this cup, and the purpose is that my coffee is going to be in there. And it's a nice coffee. No sugar, because I want to be healthy. Therefore, so the lid has a purpose, so somebody probably noticed that people spilling coffees. I said, let me make a lid. How is it that this lid has a purpose, has a design, and has a designer? Are you more complex in design or this lid?
Myself.
Okay.
I hope.
You're a handsome guy, yeah. And by the way, no homo, yeah. You know, I'm just state the facts here. You know what I'm saying? Just as God is. Yeah. And when you become a Muslim, you're gonna get married to a Muslim woman, and I'm gonna come to your wedding. Dawah, you're gonna do the wedding, yeah. Actually, no, the teacher will do the wedding. Sheikh, if he becomes a Muslim, you have to find a Muslim woman and do the wedding. Yeah. Exactly. So therefore, what we're saying, Tom, if you are more complex in design, if this mere lid has a purpose, has a designer and a designer, it follows that you must also. Now, what is your purpose? This is a question that I was asking myself 13 years ago. I was a theist, like yourself. I disregarded all religions. I thought they're man-made to control the masses. But I came to a standstill, and I hit the wall at one certain point. I said to myself, I looked at my socks, by the way. I was looking at my socks and I was thinking, this socks is designed. When I look at my socks, I know it doesn't belong in my hand. I know it doesn't belong in my head. I mean, there might be some people who wear it on their head. They shouldn't. But it belongs in my feet. It has a design. It has a purpose. So I said to myself, how is it that this has a purpose and I don't? It's an insult to God to claim that he created you without a purpose. You know what that means? It means God is a purposeless God. And we don't say that. We say there is a reason you're here.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, and I think everybody does have their own purpose. But where we maybe disagree is I think that the individual is the best person to know that. And the reason why I don't subscribe to any religions at the moment is because I feel like they're too directive coming from other people, and it takes away people's own agency to be completely open to finding their own strength.
What about like all the million young people nowadays who have absolutely no direction or sense of purpose in life, you know, or there is like the depression that is going on with people and antidepressants are going up. It's because precisely people don't have a purpose. So I believe that on an individual basis, yes, the very good ones amongst us can carve out a purpose, but on a general basis, that does not seem to be the case, at least in modernity.
There is a common purpose for all of us. That's common, that all of us we share that. That's the common. Yes, there are some.
I'll hold it.
There are some, you know, each individual that has a purpose to do, has tasks to do this way. But there is a common purpose for everyone, that they share this common purpose. Now, for example, as a human being, don't you think, like with your own mind, don't you think that we as a human being, is our purpose just eat and drink and reproduce? Is that it? Or don't you think that we have a deeper meaning than this?
I think, we're part
if it's about eating and drinking and reproduct,
what's the difference between us and animals?
Animals doing better job than this. Not just they do better job than us. At least they don't spread corruption. They don't do pollution. They don't do all of these things.
Yes.
That means our purpose is deeper than this.
Yeah, I agree.
Let me propose this. Don't you think that our purpose in this life is to be grateful to the one who has created us?
No.
No. Okay.
I don't.
Because you don't believe in the creator.
No, he does.
And if I did believe in a specific creator, I wouldn't see the need to be. It's good to be grateful, 100%, but I don't see that as a requirement.
Why not?
It's not. I don't see that as
Okay, can I add something? Do you hate or love your fingers?
Love them.
Let's look at them. I mean, there might be fitna for some sisters, you know, but you know, yes, you love them, yeah.
Yep.
How could you love what God created, but not love Him?
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree. Yeah.
Now, what's very interesting is this, yeah. The only reason you're saying that is not because you're malicious or you don't want to. It's because you don't know him. And that's why it's important for us to study Tawheed. Tawheed is the oneness of God. Once you study this and get to know who God is, you will fall in love with him. So right now, because you're not aware, let me give it simple, yeah? If Muhammad Ali came here, may Allah have mercy on his soul, yeah? What would me and you do? I'll be honest, I'll be like, oh my gosh, that's Muhammad Ali. I'll run to him, my demeanor with him will be like this. Oh, Muhammad Ali, I'm sorry. I will be very careful to what I say. I'll be careful to what I do. Why? Because, does he pay for my bills? No. Has he done anything for me? No. But because of who he is, I give him the utmost respect. Now,
I like to box, so I do the same.
You do boxing, yeah? Me too.
So
I
I'd
do
be
as well.
impressed as well.
I've got training tomorrow. I get knocked out here and there, but I need that. So now, check this out, yeah? If that is the case that we admire Muhammad Ali so much, what about the one that created all of this?
Yeah.
Our love to him should be greater. Now, the only reason it's not is because we don't know him. If we know him, if you acknowledge, I know very well Tom, if you acknowledge he's the one that's giving you life, he provides for you, he looks after you, the food that you eat, to the health that you have, it is all from him, you'll be grateful, would you not?
Yeah.
Exactly. So the point is what? Is that you don't know him yet properly. That's why you're gonna get to know him, correct? And
he lives $100 million.
Like so he was being grateful.
Yeah, so the point is, you see here, there is a common thing between all of us as a human being. Yeah? All of us.
haters, sorry.
So all of us as a human being. So there is a common purpose. This common purpose, what is it?
Are you Bukhari side?
Very disrespectful. This is what they do.
So the purpose, at least the minimum thing, to be grateful to this creator. For example, let me give you a simple example. When there is a family, the father of the family, there is a father of the family. The father, let's say the father of his children. There is, for the children, there is a common thing related to their father. There's a common thing that they have to do. Maybe the father doesn't need them to pay him, generally the fathers, they are kind of selfless, They will look after their children, they will do their best to protect their children all their life. But the fathers, for example, or the mother, for example, of the parents, all what they want, maybe, or at least, or all what they deserve, not what they want, all what they deserve from the children is just to be grateful. That's all. They don't want you. They don't want you to pay them. They don't want you to pay their bills. They don't want you just to be, thankful. You have done something good to me. That's all. And God has a better right, has more important right, which is to be grateful for. He is the one who takes you on his ship. He is the one who gives you the eyes. He is the one who gives you the nose. He is the one who gives you the hand. He is the one who provides for you, and He is the one who sustains you and protects you and all of these things. Don't you think that the minimum thing for us as a human being to be grateful to Him? You agree?
Yeah.
And that is what is Islam called submission. That's why Islam means submission.
Exactly.
Anyone who submits his will to the will of God, then is a Muslim, and that's the meaning of Islam, and that's to be grateful to Him.
Sheikh, that's so beautiful. I want to add something, and I think it answers this question, because you know what he said, Sheikh? He said, I don't want to follow like some kind of a religion, yeah? But you know what's very interesting, yeah? And tell me if I'm right or wrong. You follow a religion. You follow a religion. How? Religion is a way of life. Your way of life, if I say to you, what's your way of life? You might say to me, for example, Ali, for example, my way of life before I came to Islam, my religion before I came to Islam, not literally, was what? I used to go clubbing, party, all kind of nonsense. That was my way of life. Now, that's the reason why I say all we're telling you is follow the true way of life, the true religion, because you're already following the religion. For example, what do you do on the weekends?
Well, I've been out watching a friend fight this weekend.
Okay, good. Boxing. Yeah. What's your lifestyle? What do you live by? What's your moral compass?
Summarize. I enjoy learning.
Like liberalism. These are some of the things that you live by. Yeah. Exactly. So now check this out. You already follow a religion, and that religion is what it gives you. It's not necessarily like they have a God, but you're following a set of laws. All we're just telling you is to follow the set of laws you're already doing. So when because I saw you a bit apprehensive towards religion, the reason I'm saying this is you're already following a way of life. All you're doing is just adjusting it to the correct way. So it's not nothing new. You're not going to be like, oh, I'm going to come and you're already doing that subconsciously. I was speaking to a few atheists, and I said, you guys go to the pub to drink? He goes, yeah. I said, who has told you this is good? This is actually killing you. It's like going and saying, I'm going to go drink some poison today. Woo!
Yeah.
Brother, he's killing you. Yeah, but you know what it is? It's the social norms that subconsciously has been put into your mind that this is something that lads do. But this is something that kills you. This is something that might kill someone on the road if you're drink driving. But it's become a norm. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So what I would do is personally, I'm going to leave it with my teacher. However, but obviously if you have to go, please let me know. I think you're very new. You should study, read the Quran. You're a sincere person. It seems genuinely, I'll be honest with you, you're a very sincere man. I've spoken to a lot of people here. You didn't come here with hostility. You came here to learn. I learned from you, you learned from myself. But I would say, do me a favor. You believe in a higher power. When you go home today, and I did this about 12, 13 years ago, I said, God, if you're there, if this is the truth, guide me. As simple as that, bro. A sincere prayer that you do can change your life. That's it from me. If there's anything else you would like to ask, if you need to go, my teacher's here. Is there anything else you would like to know about Islam?
No, but I appreciate time.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
And just to emphasize about the last thing, you see the first chapter of the Quran.
Yes.
This first chapter of the Quran, the whole Quran, that we as Muslims, we believe the whole Quran is summarized in this seven lines. The whole Quran is summarized in these 7 lines. The whole Quran is about these 7 lines. And that's why we...
Sorry, it was really nice meeting you.
Yeah, you too.
I'm here every Sunday.
Yeah?
Sheikh, can you come here?
Yeah.
Mehmet.
So, the whole Quran is summarized in these 7 lines. And these 7 lines, we recite this Quran 17 times a day minimum. These 7 lines, we recite them 17 times a day. And all of it is about this one. It's about this, the 6th one. All of it is about guide us to the straight path. So the Quran is about to guide us to the straight path. We keep asking Allah again and again and again to guide us to the straight path. And this is something to understand, how important to guide us to the straight path. And the guidance in the guidance in Islam is not just only to show you the path. Is part of it showing you the path, leading you to the path by taking you to the path and keeping you firm on that path. 3 things: showing you the path, taking you to that path, and keeping you firm on that path, which is the straight path, which is the path of Islam. And that's what when I said to you initially, when I said to you, it is the submission. This is how we be grateful to God.
Yeah.
And when I say Allah, by the way, in Arabic means the one God. That's what it means in Arabic. So that's why. What's your name, by the way? Tom. So emphasize about what Brother Ali said to you, and what I repeat to you. So Tom, we live here once in our life. We're gonna live once. So and that's why God has created us for a purpose, as you mentioned. So and this purpose has to be something which is more important than other things.
Yeah.
And that's what is more important is, as I said to you, just be grateful to the Creator, the one who created you, to follow His lead, to follow His guidance, to follow what He told you to do, and to abstain from what He is telling you to abstain from. And God is good. Doesn't want something, doesn't want hardship. When Allah says in the Quran, Allah didn't make your religion as hardship for you. Allah made it easy for us. So our religion is ease, for the ease. Either things you might find it a bit difficult, you might find certain things, certain rulings, you say, oh, do I need to do that? But if you think about it from objective point of view, then you will find, it makes sense. When God prohibiting us to drink, it's something it's objective, ruling. It's not just only me, or why God doesn't want me to have fun and good. It's not about having fun, it's about God allowed all the type of juices in the world, all these beautiful juices in the world, only prohibited alcohol. Things that could intoxicating, things that could, you could lose your mind, and people they die through this, through the consequence of alcohol, etc. Yeah. The same thing, God allowed all the type of food in the life, except certain things God prohibited. So you could find that in Islam is not about everything is not allowed until it's allowed. No, everything is allowed until there is an evidence to say it's not allowed, and it is for our goodness, and for our goodness, for the best for us in this life and the hereafter.
Yeah.
So that's what is generally Islam.
Yeah. I wanted to come chat to you because I've got a friend who's Muslim, and they are finding a way of kind of integrating the Muslim upbringing with what they've learned later on in life through different experiences, and they're trying to bring those both together to make an integrated path with the knowledge from both of those, and that's what's made me open, because I previously would never consider religion.
Yeah.
So I never fully subscribed to. I don't imagine I'd ever fully subscribe to one way of living. I wanna learn from these things and
You see,
integrate parts
Islam
into myself.
at the end of the day, Islam doesn't prevent you to integrate in the way as long as it's within the boundaries of Islam. Meaning, Islam allows you to do any job any job or any way of life or anything, that as long as it is within the boundaries of Islam. Because at the end of the day, we, again, going back to the point, we live here for a purpose, so we shouldn't transgress against that purpose, as simple as that. And it is willingly, God wants from us willingly to submit to Him, not to be forced to follow His way. You understand?
Yeah.
So that's what generally Islam is about. So again, I urge you to read more about the Quran.
I will do.
And if you have any question, you're welcome to ask. Even though I don't mind if you wanted me, since you are believe in the Creator. This Creator, as we said to you, or as the brothers that has mentioned to you, this Creator is all powerful to create things, very knowledgeable to create things, and has an independent will, and that is God, basically.
So I can agree with you being very knowledgeable. My friend said that God is all-knowing. I don't think that necessarily has to be the case. Like, why
not all-knowing?
I think it is possible that God is imperfect, or the Creator of us is imperfect, is not all-knowing.
We put that into a test. For example, to create something, you have to be very knowledgeable to create that something.
Yeah.
Even for us as a human being, if you wanted to do, you don't expect someone who is, for example, a farmer, or someone who is, let's say, a shepherd or something, to, for example, to design certain computers which is used in the space.
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah, because this is not their expertise. That's not something that they can do. Meaning, you need to have knowledge to design certain things, correct? So the same thing, this universe, it has to come from a perfect designer and has to have the knowledge to create it. So it has to have knowledge. Otherwise, and God has described Himself to be all-knowing again and again and again. Because otherwise, these things cannot come from someone who is ignorant. You understand? And in relation to the universe, yes, as a holistic, it's a perfect. Yes, there are some things God wanted us to appreciate the perfectness of this universe. Within these things, if there is any deficiencies or whatever that we observe, we think is a deficiencies in this universe, but look at the holistic perspective. That, for example, if you see someone who is disabled or certain thing, that you appreciate, God has created you without that disability or something like that.
Yeah.
You see how it goes. So it's something for us as well to appreciate the favors of God upon us.
Yeah. It's interesting, man. Yeah, I'm gonna go think about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I appreciate it.
Oh, and then we are here every Sunday. Come, if you have, go and research, do your research and study. And we are here every Sunday. If you have any questions, we are very happy, to answer your questions. All right, Tom.
Yeah.
All right, Tom. My name is Mohammed.
Mohammed.
All right, nice to meet you. Good to meet you. Yeah. Thank you. Think the mic for them. The mic, your mic.
Everyone forgets you're not the only one.
I'd be like, why is my chin ticklish? Alright, thanks.
All right, no problem.